To every person affected by the recent tragedy in Orlando and the ongoing tragedies that are taking place across the nation and across the globe, I wish I had answers. I wish I could just tell you that shit happens. I wish I could make it go away. Unfortunately, that's not the case. We are kept in a perpetual loop of bullshit. Bullshit brought on by uneducated, fear-mongering assholes that know nothing better to do in this world than to spread fear, to spread distrust, to spread hatred. There's been a lot going on. I'm going to try to keep this one a little brief, but this is Foaming at the Mall. We have in this planet, on this planet, we have had so many, we've had so many instances over the course of a few months that only seem to get worse because a couple of troubled people finally had the trigger pulled, metaphorically speaking, and it just sets them off. In the case of Orlando, the father admitted that his son had issues. Well, if you knew that, you should have been doing something about it. I'm not blaming the father for his son's actions. That piece of shit is completely 100% responsible for the actions and the consequences that have affected the lives of 50 casualties. But he still should have been paying attention. He admitted that his son was set off, just violent outrage of seeing homosexuals interacting with each other. For things like that, you really should be like, you know what, you need help. Let's go get you help. But you chose to ignore it. Obviously, he chose to ignore it. And thus is the consequences. Very recently in France was a similar incident. Obviously not as large or not as grand of a scale. But it was fairly recent. It either happened, I think it happened today. It was another man, under watch list, no-fly zones, arrested for connections with radicalists. Both individuals pledged allegiance to ISIS a few weeks before doing what they've done. And the thing is, I don't think it really has anything to do with ISIS. Granted, they're going to take credit for it because they want to keep you afraid and fearful, and they want you thinking that they're around every corner. And that's what they want. That's the goal of a terrorist and any terrorist organization, is to keep you afraid and worried that the next time you open a door, they're going to be waiting for you there, even if it's in your own home. I don't think it has anything to do with that group, but they're going to take credit for it. You got the groups like Westboro, who don't believe a fucking thing that those assholes even say or preach or whatever. They just want to be dickish assholes that, again, spread fear and hatred. They want you to be afraid of them, and people like them. And since I believe the entire Westboro Baptist Church community is consistent of white people, they want you to think that, again, if you're not white and Christian, you're going to open up your door to your house one day and they're going to be waiting for you. They're a terrorist group too. They just don't actually do anything. They just take credit or spread propaganda and hate without actually having any actions or involvement. Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell every single fucking terrorist organization, fuck you. Fuck you. I fucking refuse to live my life in fear that someday I'm going to be somewhere and you're going to do something. Because if you think for one goddamn second that I'm not going to live my life how I want to fucking live it, you're dead fucking wrong. And if you think for one fucking second that I wouldn't fight to my last goddamn breath to put you the fuck down so that you don't get another chance to do it to anybody else, you're dead fucking wrong. To the families of those affected by recent tragedies, I wish I could tell you that I understand, that I know what you're going through. I wish I could just make everything go away. I wish I could just undo everything that's been done. I wish I could. Believe me, if I could, I would. But I can't. And while in some cases this may seem trite and cliche, I want you to know this, if nothing else. You need to remember who it is you lost. Would any of them want you to live your life in fear because of this? Would they want you to only think about this one tragic moment in your life and never move on? No. No, because that is not how we do. We are people. We can be perpetrators, we can be victims, or we can be strong and stand up for what's right. So I encourage you to remember good times. And keep in mind that you are not meant to dwell on this for the rest of your life. And you sure as hell are not meant to live in fear the rest of your life. I would rather die fighting against this kind of shit than to be curled up in the corner of my house with the lights turned off because some radicalist motherfucker said I should be afraid. I say fuck that. You should too. Anybody who happens to hear this. If you sympathize with radicals and extremists and think that their way of doing things and spreading fear and hatred, if you think that's the way to do things, go fuck yourself. If you're someone that thinks everybody should keep their heads down and their mouths shut, well then you just let those motherfuckers walk all over you. You let them win. You're afraid of them. They have spread terror into your lives, into your home, and they win. But to every single one of you that is absolutely sick of this shit, you need to come together. Everybody, we all fucking need to come together. We need to put aside this petty shit. Your skin color, your religion, your gender identification, your sexual orientation, your nationality, they're all petty bullshit! It means nothing in the grand scheme of life! We need to put this shit aside. We need to work as one, because I, for one, am fucking sick of every other fucking week turning on the news, looking at my Facebook feed, or just never being able to avoid it. It's death and chaos and anarchy and fear and propaganda and hatred. Hatred all the fucking time. We need to stop worrying about shit that does not affect our lives and start worrying about the shit that does. We can be better. We can all be better. But if we keep the trend the way it is, we never will be. People who abuse their authority and their power will continue to do it. People who continue to just spread fear and hatred to keep you fearful and terrified of ever living your life the way you want to live it, then they'll just keep doing it. It's not until we collectively join as one voice, as one entity, as one power, do we put the ones who try to keep us fearful of them in their fucking place, and we make them afraid of us. I apologize that this probably isn't going to be the cleanest edited or filmed version of Foaming at the Maw. I just really needed to get this shit off my chest. By all means, like the video, share it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Next videos, video games, even these, are going to be more lighthearted fun. For those of you who haven't figured out, I pretty much typically just play an angry comic character, an angry stand-up comedian type character, in which I just take things that are stupid in everyday life and I blow them out of proportion. I'll tell you right now, that's what I do, and it's for fun and it's to entertain. This is about as serious as you're going to see me. And while I do mean what I say in those videos, the way I present them is meant more for entertainment. Still trying to make a point, but I'm trying to make you, crack a smile, have a laugh, and maybe think. This is about as serious as I'm going to get for one of these. And I needed to. So I really don't care how the picture quality is, the audio. This is just being done to be done. And, please, leave me comments. Tell me what you think. Whether you agree with me, disagree with me. Whether you just want to spread a little bit of love in hopes that somebody sees it and they know that you wish them well. It's fine. You can do that here. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. But that's going to do it for this episode of Foaming at the Maw. Do not go quietly into the night. We can be better. We can all be better. So whenever you see this, good afternoon, good night. I'll see you again before long.